Roger's ready. Open the meeting at 7:05. Welcome to the January 15th, 2025 meeting of Berlin Conservation Commission. As a reminder, open session public meetings are subject to being recorded. Your voice and image will be recorded. Okay. We had minutes. I read them. Anybody have anything to say about the minutes? If not,
I move we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Treasurer's report.
Not much has changed, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Bills and forms.
Those forms. I think we do have a bill for the legal ad that we posted for Berlin Meadows in here. Yep. Is it $156 plus the legal ad?
Sadly.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Newspaper's not cheap anymore. So what I don't understand, so this says unapplied payments $229.76, total cash due minus $156.
Is it that goofy thing where they put I've seen bills like that where they give you the, like, amount due as minus and then...
Right, but the difference between these two no, that's not even that, because then there's 90 days past due
Right.
Yeah.
and 30 days past due, both are like $36 and $37, which those two together might be the difference between this.
Okay, so let me look into this bill and figure out what's going on.
That would be
with
great. Because either they owe us $156 or... Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so see if you can
That's interesting.
get some clarification on that.
Good times.
I remember there was an issue like last year where one of the applicants had applied and they had like billed us,
Right,
and I called them and was like, nope,
right.
not us that's paying for that. I don't know if that's like a holdover from that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
so,
we'll look into that.
awesome. Anything else?
That's all I had for bills and forms. Any reimbursement? Do we owe you anything?
Mail and notices.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's been very quiet. Lots of meetings. I did get two separate responses from two teachers at Tohoto about bluebird houses.
Awesome.
And actually, I sent them to you.
Yeah.
Have you communicated with them?
I didn't realize I was still. I will. I've been a little off, as you know.
Yes, you've had some stuff going on. Yeah, so if
Do it
you
tomorrow.
could, that would be great. Just because there's no point in me coordinating building
Nope,
bluebird
nope.
boxes.
So they're interested in building bluebird houses?
Yeah, one of them was a junior high math teacher, and the other, I think, was an engineering teacher in the high school. So,
One of them, I had.
oh, right,
she
you
had
weighed
reached
in.
out. Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about this now or later in the agenda.
We can talk about it now. That's fine.
And she had. I was confused by her email.
Okay, good.
Because it sounded. I tried to clarify what she was asking for, and then she kind of just fully backed away.
Right.
And then, yeah. I mean,
it-
I can read it.
Right, it kind of sounded like she's like, hey, what are you gonna do?
Well, yeah, and then I said what I thought she suggested, and then she said, oh, that doesn't work for my class.
Right.
But I just wanted to do what worked for her class, because that's the whole point.
Sure. Right. And
Um,
I believe that's kind of what I said to her is like, hey, you let us know.
Right. So she said, I was thinking about the birdhouses, you were on this email, but I was
Yep.
thinking about the birdhouses as a tech and engineering project for 7th grade. Adding research and customizing houses would work in the context of my class. Unfortunately, monitoring and collecting data would not be possible for
yeah.
this group of students, which is fine.
Yep.
And then there was some back and forth that I guess doesn't really matter, but basically she just would be willing to design and place the birdhouses, but not much beyond that, which is fine.
Right.
I don't know how much of the designing would be a project for them though, or if we have kind of a set.
Well, there are kind of set parameters
Yeah.
about what birdhouses should do.
Right.
It's, well, and there are two functions, one for a bluebird house, 1.5-inch hole, and the other one is a clean outdoor.
Okay.
Right. Right. And other than that, the standard design doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, well, a minimum size, but, you know,
Yep.
about 5 by 5 by 5 cube.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
But
I
they
was
can be a
just
little bigger, a
thinking-
little smaller, but.
I was thinking we could show them a bluebird house,
Yeah.
and then you, because I don't know the parameters, but you do.
Yeah.
And as long as they meet those parameters,
Well,
they
I
can
can-
see kind of a base.
I can dash over and meet with the teacher.
Yeah.
I'll get in touch with her.
Okay.
I wasn't sure that was
Yeah.
on my plate. Yep.
Well, I also wasn't sure because I'm technically not a member, and I didn't want to say anything definitively because I don't have the power to do that. And we hadn't met post us going to Tohoto.
Right.
so-
Well, with the holidays and
Right.
then not having the second meeting in December, I feel like part of me's like, oh my God, that was so long ago, but it really wasn't all that long ago.
Right. I mean, Tohoto probably wasn't doing much in that.
Right,
time
and they
frame
were
either.
off for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Awesome. So, if in your response, and if you need email addresses, just let me know. But if in your response, if you could copy Lexi
Okay.
and keep her in the loop, and you guys can keep working on
Are
that and
you-
see if we can get something coordinated. Because, like, I'm not going to develop her curriculum.
Well, right. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I didn't want to tell her how to teach her students.
Right, exactly.
Which was, but I was just confused as to what she was actually asking for. But I think I understand.
As was
now.
I.
If it's an engineering class, you know, in the past when I've built birdhouses with small children, I make a jig, so they can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
There's only one way the next part will fit.
Yeah.
Right.
That might be a good engineering task, but I'll bring
Right.
that up.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much leeway she wants to give them, but
The basic bluebird house is a box.
I would prefer to
Right.
have less leeway if I were the student, but everybody's different.
Right?
Are you available to go, or? if-
Yeah, we can figure out
We'll
a
work it out.
timing for that for sure.
See what they offer. Okay.
Cool. All right. So we do have a 7:15, which is in 2 minutes. You're not on the agenda.
I was told to come back on the 15th of this month, along with Richard Brotmerkel.
Yep, so we did
Yeah,
stop by
yeah,
and
yeah,
talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
they
So
were
we'll get to
coming.
that after our 7:15.
Yeah, that was for
Okay.
7:30, I think is what, yeah.
Okay.
I went back Sunday and nobody came to the door.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, well.
Okay. Hey. So this is for after the fact notice of intent for 63 Marlborough Road.
Good evening, Mark Arnold with Water Consulting here on behalf of Big Daddy Realty Trust LLC. As an administrative matter, here are your certified
Thank you.
mailings and your certified seats. DEP did issue a file number for this, which is 107277 with no comments. I don't know if you need that. I had it printed out. It'd be in my folder there if
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
it, yeah.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Yep.
No comments from Judy Smith. And just for the record, so Judy Smith was the issuing authority for the superseding order conditions for the original project. So this is the context for the reason why we're here. So the reason why we're here is this was the plan that was approved by the superseding order conditions by Mass DEP. They approved the impact of 388 square feet of wetlands and the construction of 585 square feet of wetland replication for the project. In red here is what the impact area was supposed to be, and this hatched area here was the area of wetland replication that was proposed. This little red hatch here is kind of where we ended up building more replication area. So that was the original approval for wetland impacts, and so in summary, basically the project impacted additional wetlands in these four corners here. The wetland replication area expanded as well. So we had 520 square feet of wetland impact and 722 square feet of wetland replication area, which is more than 1-to-1, which is required by Mass DEP. This is a zoom in of the location just for context of these are the wing walls that were put in. Again, these walls are supposed to be basically vertical and parallel with a culvert, and during construction they widened that out and increased the impact areas in those four locations, basically at the wing walls there. So in addition to that, just for context, the applicant never built the barn that was proposed in here with the driveway connection. So that was never done. The driveway did get flipped, but otherwise the limit of work stayed right where it was supposed to stay around the house. So in terms of basically limit disturbance, it's all the same except that we don't have a large barn in the front of the property. So the purpose of this notice of intent is just the after effects work, which is basically the wetland impacts and replication area. We did provide in the record an email from Mass DEP basically outlining what they wanted an after fact notice of intent for the wetland impacts because of that, just so that it was formally in the record of permits.
And we have these plans.
Yep, we have these plans. We also have the previous filing that they sent. And we also have the monitoring reports. So this is the
Right.
Those
replication, yeah.
Yep.
So that was done in 2021,
Yes, 2021 is when I think, was when it was built.
and then they monitored it for multiple
For-
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know it's on here.
Yeah, I did include the digitize those. Yeah, we did the 2 years, and then we did a follow-up report as part of with Mass DEP
Oh, yeah.
just to kind of make sure the DEP understood that everything was still going well this year, or actually last year, I think.
Anybody have any questions?
Assuming the work's getting done, it seems pretty straightforward and like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
Right.
and in terms of what you're approving, you're actually not
Well, they
approving.
did
you're,
it,
You're not
right.
actually. We're not looking to do any more work on the property. It's what's here. This is what's here. We have additional wetland impact. We have additional wetland replication area. We don't propose any additional work to comply with the regulations, but we have to have a permit demonstrating that we actually did that.
Okay, so this is completed work.
Completed
Right.
work, exactly.
Fully
So basi-
vegetated.
Fully
After-
vegetated,
Okay.
fully stabilized. There's no additional proposed work on the property.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys have laid eyes on it, so.
Yep.
Yep, so
We
we
did a
inspect it.
site walk last
Last
Saturday?
Saturday,
Saturday,
Yep.
Yeah, I was out of town.
Yep. My only recommendation was maybe installing something to protect the wetland replication area from future encroachment
Just
from
signage.
the, yeah,
Some
some
signs.
kind
So
of signage, sure.
I did speak with the applicant, and he is willing to pay to put some signs. So what are you? I mean, we're looking for pressure treated posts with medallions. I'm not sure what you guys usually like to see here. Bellingham has like these little circle medallions. Some people have square signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the medallions are probably less likely to be removed because of unsightliness,
Okay.
Mhm.
you know?
Would you want those on like pressure treated posts? Again, just so we understand what you'd like. I want to make sure that when I convey this to the applicant, I
Right.
can convey it on a plan, give him like a sketch. This is exactly what it needs to look like, so that way there's no confusion, and that way we do this once and
Right.
we don't have any
PT
iterations.
posts
And
makes
again,
the most
again,
sense.
your
Granite.
your comment
Yeah.
is definitely reasonable.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to get a PT post than it is to get a granite post.
Sure. I would, I
Use a
mean,
nail it medallion on it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Most people don't have tools that'll do much of anything to granite.
Is there any concern with the pressure treated, putting it in the ground?
just that it is limited, it does have a
Limited lifespan.
limited lifespan, yes.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather see it on a rock.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, we could, I can definitely talk to the applicant, I guess, if the commission's willing to let me discuss with Maddie, I think we can get something that will definitely work
Yeah.
well, and be permanent. I mean, I don't know if we could also do aluminum metal fence posts, I've done that. We put in like 4-foot metal fence posts, we drive into the ground, and then you screw the medallion to the metal fence post,
Okay.
so it's a
Yeah, just something-
it's a stainless steel aluminum, basically metal fence post that you would see
Right.
for a chain link fence
Yep.
in the ground on a medallion. That's also another option, but I may want to talk to the applicant and the owner just to see if there's something that they prefer. Because it's possible that the homeowner might say to the applicant, look, if you're going to do this, it's got to look nice.
Right.
And the applicant will be kind of cornered into that, and that's fine.
100%,
I understand.
right.
The reason why there's a reason why we're here is because there was something that was done during construction that shouldn't have been done.
Yep.
And so there's an understanding there. So I think if that's the only
Yeah.
the workable thing, we're definitely willing to put demarcation.
Yeah,
as outlined by the agent.
I don't like to dictate aesthetics.
Yep.
For
No,
marking things,
I
so
appreciate that.
my criteria is that it's permanent.
Yeah, okay.
However you
I
guys-
understand
yeah.
the concern of, we don't want pressure treated posts, and it needs to be relatively permanent, so it's hard to move and
Sure.
shift.
Sure, because what's the point of marking it if it,
Yes, so I guess
Yeah.
that's a great question, sir, is where do we want these? In you mentioned the replication area, which is along here, so you'd have at least you could have 3 points, 1, 2, 3 here, it's about 15 to 20 feet apart. Do you want them elsewhere around the yard?
can you bring that so that we can see where the
1 inch equals 30
Right.
Yeah, 'cause
20 plan.
technically Berlin has a 25 no-touch zone, but we kind
I
of
think
lost
the
that.
25
So
is,
here's-
Yeah.
25 is
We
shown
lost
there.
that, yeah.
right, so the 25-foot is under the driveway, right?
Yeah, so we kind of lost that when DEP took over.
Right. I would love to see something along the edge of the driveway.
Okay.
Along the edge of the driveway.
And the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So
yeah.
what I'll do is, if the the commission can just write the condition that's kind of flexible to the agent's ability to do that. And Maddie, what I'll do is I'll get in touch with the applicant, figure out a design, get you a figure that shows the locations and also what they're going to be, and you can let me know if that's amendable to your office, and then if that's okay, we'll implement it.
Okay.
So.
Perfect.
Do we have to wait to get the order issued to get that implemented? Just curious. Is putting in the signs an issue? I mean, we have an SOC alive right now, so we're allowed to work on the property under the SOC. So
Right.
we're not really doing anything outside the SOC scope. Per se,
Right.
But
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just thinking about
Right,
rapid
I think
implementation.
we can make it conditional.
Okay. Yep.
You know, issue it tonight, conditional, on that work being completed.
Yeah, that's fine. You're gonna issue an order. We're gonna have to implement it regardless when we require it, and then we'll have when we file the COC, you'd know that they were in place.
Right.
Do you want those shown on the plan?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright,
Once
so-
you do the as-bills for, yeah.
Gotcha. Because
Yeah.
we already have an as-built.
Yep,
This is
so
the
just-
as-built.
yep.
So I just want to make sure if we need to add something to the plan, I know about it now. So
Yep.
Yep.
perfect. So
Yes.
we'll get the markers detailed, located on the sketch for Maddie to review, and we'll make sure they're on the plan when we file for a COC.
Perfect.
How long does it take to get that type of
It depends on the aesthetics question. The medallions are pretty easy to get. We're probably talking, if I order them this week, I could get them probably next week.
Right.
Week after, you can get some. I know where they order them. I know where Bellingham uses these medallions. They actually pre-buy them. I know Northborough buys them and then they sell them to applicants. They say you have to use signage, and we pre-bought them in mass for cheaper cost, and here's the signs. So you
Right.
buy the signs from us, and you can post them up. That's what Northborough does. Bellingham, I think, gives them out.
Right.
Basically, but they buy like 200 little medallion discs,
Right.
and they just remind people to use the aluminum, the aluminum nails, so that way we're not killing trees.
Right.
If you're putting them in a tree.
Well, that and the discs are aluminum, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you also are not mixing metals, so it doesn't just corrode and fall off.
Exactly.
In a couple months.
Yep.
All right.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Good. All right. So then I would like a motion to approve. Can I say plans and dates and all of that?
What are we
So,
thinking?
promotion to
1, 2,
close.
3.
Oh, right. So first we need a motion. We need to close the hearing first, then vote on it.
Discuss
Right.
one, yep.
Okay. Motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Hearing is closed. Now we need a motion to approve the after-the-fact NOI for DEP number 107, actually, 107-0277, for plans, plans drawn by Foresight Engineering. Last revision date is July 8th, 2024.
As-bills.
As built.
Specify in there somewhere, so we're.
Yeah.
Yep, so I guess additional conditions, so permanent markers to be installed, as-built plan showing permanent markers
Right.
provided when requesting a COC request.
Right.
Any other conditions you guys can think of?
What do we do?
Yeah, I
Thinking
don't think
7
everything's done, so.
markers is what we're talking about? One at the end here,
Right.
3 along there, and then 3 along the.
So how much do you usually space them out?
I would say 20 feet is probably what I'd like to see, but we'll see. I mean, it may be 8, depending on that. Around 7 to 8 sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think, I mean, if the commission wants to set a minimum, that's fine, and say a minimum of 8,
Right,
7
I'll
or.
say no
if you
less
say-
than,
if
no
you say
less
no
than
less than 7,
8.
I'll put 7 to 8 on there, so, but I think 7 should do that for what you're looking for.
All right, we're gonna say 8.
All right.
I like round numbers,
That's fine.
even numbers.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, no less than 8 markers.
Non-prime numbers.
To be, right, to be installed.
And it's a big enough.
Wow.
Uh,
Alright, good.
Yes,
Use my long arms. and
all right. So,
Do we need a time frame, or do you think that's?
Well, the order's good for 3 years, but we're gonna try to be done as quickly as possible, because the applicant would love this project to be off his mind.
sure.
Yep.
Yep.
I think they're motivated.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Unlike some developers we know about.
Do you wanna move that?
Understood. Thank you.
I'll move to.
I already know you're painfully
Okay.
aware.
Gentlemen,
Alright, sorry.
we have a motion.
Seconded.
Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Now, is there any further discussion?
Negative.
Okay. I'll ask you to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Thank you so much, have a good night.
thank you.
And for the original
Thanks for
order,
coming in, Mark.
is it helpful if I mail it to you?
Yeah, mail it to me, so that way I make sure it gets processed
Okay.
properly.
Sounds good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Take care.
All right. 7:30. I do.
I asked for homework and I got these, I don't know what you need.
Let's see what you got. I know, I don't like this big 3-table thing. It's the assessor's card. have you progressed on finding someone to help you with the filing?
I gave it to them the very next day I talked to you,
Okay,
and they said they'd be in touch with you.
okay,
I never heard nothing.
okay. Remind me who you were having do the work.
Excuse me?
Remind me who you hired, the name of the company.
It was
The same guy that did the
the company in
original
Harvard there.
David something.
David
that
Ross.
his
David Ross?
Yeah.
Okay.
an associate of his.
I gave it to him in the
I
front
don't think it was
paper,
him.
and he says, no problem, we'll take care of it.
Excellent. We haven't heard from him, but with the holidays and everything, but we can reach out to,
Okay?
right, we have contact information over at David E. Ross, we must.
Yeah, I should be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get hold.
So, I mean, I guess there's really not much left until we see the filing.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for getting right on that.
That's everything, all right, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, right, hold, anybody else have,
I guess, do you have an email address?
Excuse me?
Do you have an email address? No? How about phone number?
No,
You do?
he does.
Okay,
okay, let's not say it
Yeah.
out loud.
yeah.
We don't need YouTube to have it. Let's
Yep.
write it down.
Yeah, just so we can, keep in touch and
Right.
not disturb you guys on a weekend.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Just at the bottom.
And do we have a phone number also?
Oh, yeah, can we get a phone number too?
Yep, a phone number as well.
Perfect, thank you.
You know the mailing address, right?
Yes, we do.
We got that. That we got that.
Did the Conservation Commission have an opinion on anything else that they observed during the site walk?
I think we had some opinions, but I don't know that much is jurisdictional for us.
The vehicles and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Where is that jurisdiction?
100 feet out from the wetlands.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Please and thank you.
Yep.
Yep, so we'll know more once the wetland scientist goes out there and actually delineates the wetlands.
Right.
And
Sure.
kind of
Yep.
tells us the impacts.
Yep.
Have you guys been in touch with the town in regards to the pipe and the size of the pipe that they gave them?
We have not.
Okay. But you are aware that the town had supplied the pipe for the work?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so once we get the filing, and we have a date to hold a hearing for, you will be notified as an abutter.
And could I be notified by email also?
Sure.
If you have that email, I can write it down at the top.
Yep, I'm pretty sure we have your email. Yeah.
Please
Yep.
and thank you.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Thanks for coming out on this
Yeah,
cold night.
Thank you.
It could be worse.
It could be worse, it could be
On the
snowing.
bright side, it could be worse.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks. Awesome. All right, so let's go back up to the agenda. We don't really have, so Highland Ridge most recent monitoring report.
Yep, it's been same old, same old.
Right.
Everything is stable, basin's looking fine.
Yep.
Yep, never heard anything back about amending the order of conditions to reduce the amount of monitoring, so
Right.
patch is gonna go up.
Yep.
Much as he has to.
Allen Road train derailment. Hopefully we'll hear something this spring.
Yep, yeah, we'll go
And-
back out, see how it's growing in, and probably be able to release it.
Can I
Yes.
ask a question about CSX?
Yeah.
I know you guys are talking about the railroad pieces.
The
From
yeah, the
over
ties.
by
Yep.
ties, yeah,
Yep.
over by where the bridge is out. Are they doing anything with the ones down by Bridge Realty?
Theoretically, yes.
Just curious because I
Yeah.
drive by
Yeah,
that all
they
the time
do.
because it's
Yeah.
on my road. So
Yep.
Yeah.
just curious.
My guess is that they probably are just not doing much of anything right now because it's winter.
Winter, right.
So, I mean,
So it's a
I'm with
staging
you.
area for
Yeah.
them.
Mm.
They probably drop them off.
You're talking
on
about
it.
the big pile of them by Five
Mhm.
Corners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive by those semi-regularly
Yeah,
too.
there are other piles.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That pile is particularly large.
It is particularly
It is,
large, yes.
huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
You know, the upside of it is they did an awful lot of repair on those tracks, and I think that
Especially
they
right
took
there, it was bad.
a lot of the guesswork out of whether or not the train was gonna stay on them.
It's true. Right. When we did the site walk on Allen Road, since we were right there, we were looking at the tracks, and they used to go like that, and they now go like
And like
this.
That's good.
Yeah, it's amazing. So.
So odd that they had so many derailments in that area.
So weird.
And doesn't
Voodoo.
rattle our feelings as much going across that crossing anymore.
good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
that's good.
I'm still not a fan of the one down the street here, though. That one is.
Over
Oh,
here,
shit.
is it still
It's so pretty bumpy.
hazardous?
On Linden?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can get good air.
Like I said.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in a vehicle with some substantial suspension if you're gonna hit that at any speed at all.
Right. 100 River Road West, we are also waiting for the spring, and 92 Allen Road, we just heard from, so that's good. So the standard order of conditions, Maddie has very
This thing.
kindly printed this. So what I would like to do, Walter, when he let me know that he wasn't gonna be here tonight, asked if we could postpone making any decisions about this tonight because he would like to have some input. So what I know I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring it home and read it and mark it up, and write on it, yes, no, and so, if people wanna take the next couple of weeks to go over this and see what thoughts you have. I believe they are now gray boxes, right?
Yep, instead
Are
of,
all the
which
ones-
makes it really hard.
Right,
Sadly,
yeah.
we don't print in color here, so.
yep. But those are all the ones that you're recommending we adopt.
See, that's
We,
all
So
highlighted.
at least-
essentially, so the ones that aren't highlighted, so those ones are conditions I'm recommending, setting as a standard, like every order of conditions we send out are gonna have these standards.
Right.
And then the grayed out ones are ones that we, special conditions that we can add on in addition, depending on the project, so sometimes it doesn't always apply.
Did we get
Yeah.
this electronically?
Yes,
yeah,
yep.
like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there were 3 attachments on it.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you're recommending that all of these become standard? I'm confused.
So it's more of us setting up our special conditions that we kind of set. So what
Right.
Worcester, so this is based on Worcester and
Yep.
how Worcester does it. So this is a template that I kind of stole from Worcester and then kind of edited a little bit to kind of fit Berlin a little bit more. But essentially, Worcester has a set of like standard conditions. So the ones that aren't grayed out, those are the standard conditions. So when they're reading off conditions in the meetings, they'll
Oh.
say, in addition to our standard conditions, we recommend permanent markers or wetland flagging.
Sure.
So it makes it a little bit easier.
Right, so
set.
so in these pages, all of the ones that are not grayed out are the ones that you would put on
Yep,
everyone, and then the ones that are grayed out, we would put, they are standard ones based situationally.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I
Yep.
had it the other way around.
Yep.
Is
So this
this-
would be standard, these would be special.
Correct.
Yeah, the highlighted and
Yep.
special.
Yep.
Is this something that, does Berlin have a standard, or is this
So
entirely new?
we did have a draft of the standard conditions.
Yep, I had started building that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then DEP went online.
Yep.
So now so that was when we would file paper copies. And now we file online, and there wasn't really a place
Yeah, so there is set up, you have to like go through, you have to go through a drop down menu and kind of look through it and be like, okay, do I want ones from this one, this one,
Oh,
this one?
wow.
Right, so
So
there's
now-
a whole bunch that they recommend.
Yep.
Right, so how do we incorporate these
So,
in that filing?
so the way that filing works too is there's just an open text box, so you could just copy and paste what
Got
you
it.
wanted in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
So like for tonight's, I'll be able to enter, we want permanent markers no less than 8,
right.
situated along the wetland.
Yes, there was a thing in here that I would like, there were 2 things, I think, that I mentioned to you.
Yep, so I think snow storage and
Right.
usually,
No snow
Towards the
storage
bottom.
in the wetlands.
yep.
And
then-
what was and then the other one was fertilizer, use of, all right, so
Pesticide, et
it's,
cetera? Is that one?
yeah, so it's number 64. Use of salt and sand on paved surfaces kept to a minimum. No pesticides, herbicides, or fertilizers, with the exception of lime, can be used on lawns within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland or bank after completion of the project.
Yep, and so you can also deed those conditions too, so when you issue the certificate of compliance, you can also say that these conditions go perpetually,
Let's do it.
so,
Yes.
so that type of thing.
Yeah, especially in that, I mean, they are so close. Right, so add those 2 and the markers for that, and then, yeah, so read these over, see what you think, and we'll discuss it at our next meeting.
Can we add something in about biodegradable erosion control?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you know if
I'll
there's
write it up.
anything in here about
so I don't
the
think
type of erosion control?
No, I don't think it
didn't see it.
specifies it, but you could probably put it in under the erosion control
28.
option.
Yep. Page
Yep.
2,
Okay.
Yep.
So
erosion
You'll-
sedimation control installation.
you'll wordsmith that?
Yep. Yeah, we
AJ?
can add that in.
Oh, yeah, I can do it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I collected a few things from
Is there a way to do?
one of the meetings. I'll have to see if I have that.
Okay.
Does anybody make a like biodegradable silt fence?
I have.
Yep,
They
do like a
do.
burlap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should start adopting that because
Is-
like we have so many millions of microplastics flying around all over the place as it is. We don't really need to add to it if we don't have to.
Right.
Especially considering our whole freaking job is to protect water.
Right, right. So my question would be, because I totally agree with that,
How
but
effective is it?
how strong is it?
I was gonna ask how expensive it is.
Oh.
Yeah, so definitely.
Well, that's not our problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep,
Not,
it's-
I mean, within reason. We
Right.
don't want to be
Yeah.
totally putting people out,
You
but
know,
I would
major
imagine it would be
construction
much more
sites,
expensive.
the stuff has to last a couple of years.
Yeah,
But
of course.
most of our,
Projects.
projects have, it's.
Right, it's a
6
year
months or
or
a year,
less, right.
yeah.
I would imagine, in terms of strength, it probably depends. I mean, I don't think we're going to end up with any more structural silt fences, which might actually be better. Because that was ridiculous, and probably continues to be ridiculous.
I
would be shocked if we've done anything about that.
feel that is true.
Yeah, that. Anyway,
Yeah,
but I think it probably depends on who's making it and the quality of materials involved and the quality of the construction, like anything else.
sure, and part of it is the strength of the stakes,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, right.
Right now, that's the major failure
Oh,
on these things.
on the plastic ones, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Can you do a little bit of research
Yep.
about the durability of that, though?
Yep.
Yeah, but I think if it's viable, I think we should move to that. I mean, if you have to do twice as many stakes, that's not great, but it's not the end of the world.
Right, but it's still,
And it's still
the stakes
better.
are the cheap part.
Yeah, and it's still better than adding more plastics into the environment,
Oh, yeah.
especially disposable ones, which is
Yep.
essentially what we're talking about here, so.
Well, and maybe even just a brief statement, due to overwhelming concern to the environment, this is why we're
Right.
deciding that.
I mean, that's
it's
our whole-
obvious, but I guess.
it's our
but
whole
maybe
job.
it's-
Yeah.
Right, fair enough.
I better write that down, because that was good.
Right. Right, well, the one good thing about, we don't really have to explain why.
That should be pretty obvious.
Yeah, and if anybody, thinks of anything else as they're reading through this that they'd like to see in it, just make a note and we'll talk about it. I find with a document this long that kind of going through it and making notes so that we're not going item by item by item by item, because that certainly can drag it out. If we all agree on number 34, we don't need to talk about it. We can move on. So, yeah, and, maybe make notes as to whether you think that's necessary or not, or whatever, so, and then we can talk about it at the next meeting.
Lexi, are you familiar with the structural silt fence? I'll show you some photos. It's hilarious.
The
Yeah.
one that was
You saw it?
along the driveway
Yeah.
with
Yep.
the rocks.
Yep.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even more impressive in person.
I bet.
All right.
Can I just ask one brief question? Is there anything more in enforcement or along those lines that you feel like? Is that pertinent or helpful or?
Enforcement for us is outlined in the Wetlands Protection Act. So, Maddie and I actually just attended a very long hazard mitigation. So the town is working with Central Mass Regional Planning to develop a hazard mitigation plan. And two of the things that are recommended in that plan are that we adopt a stormwater bylaw and a wetlands bylaw. So the planning board is also working to update our floodplain bylaw because FEMA has issued new standards. So we are adopting, or the warrant at town meeting will be to adopt the new FEMA map and the new language that they want for us to have in our bylaw. Because if we don't adopt that, then people who are affected by the floodplain will not have access to flood insurance. So it's really important that we do that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff coming up in the town about stormwater management. So I think that we should start looking at a stormwater bylaw, that will be our first step, and then we'll start looking at a wetlands bylaw again, which hurts me just to even talk about, but it's important.
I have very vivid memories of that town meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. I don't know if it really fits in, but to take, for example, somebody gets an order of conditions based, to develop a property, and it gets sold, and some of the things change. For example, if somebody was going to develop a piece of land on a hillside and said, I would not clear cut, it gets sold to somebody else who then proceeds to clear cut and then builds the development based on the original plans.
Yeah.
Is there a way to make it so that if it gets sold and the plans, they're not building strictly according to the plans, that we can?
Well, so if they sit here in a meeting and they say, oh no, we're not gonna clear cut that, that is not part of the permit. That is just some words.
Right.
So if it gets put in the order of conditions or it's marked on the plan that it won't get clear cut and it does get clear cut, then that's enforceable.
Right.
Because then they have made a change to the plans, a substantial change to the plan.
Yeah,
Right.
if it doesn't make it into writing, then it's
It doesn't-
basically not. If it doesn't get into writing somewhere, it's
Right.
basically not
Right.
useful.
Right.
Yeah, so like-
And there's been, and I think every single town has had that situation happen.
Sure.
Clinton has, right?
Yep. What
Yep.
were you gonna say?
So our order of conditions too, right on it, it says what the name of the plan that we approved, the date, you know, how Carolyn read it off.
Right,
Mm.
right, so that we can reference that plan to make sure that the plan that we approved
Right.
is what got built. That's actually what we're waiting for
Yep.
on the Lancaster Road project is we have asked for an as-built plan
That actually reflects what
that
was
actually
built,
reflects what was
including the
built.
structural silt fence.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, but, right, so if somebody promises something in words, that doesn't really mean anything. It
Exactly.
has to be on the plan or in the filing.
Mm.
And that can come down to us too, like something to think of when we are issuing these order of conditions. So there is one with, I think there was one about tree cutting and stuff, trees to remain, so all trees to remain post-construction shall be marked on site, as shown on the approved plan, so that the commission or its representative can verify them before any clearing takes place, kind of thing. So we can condition those sort of things, like, hey, you need to
Right, you
mark out
need,
in the
you
field
need to
what
mar-
you're doing,
Right.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
and
I
make sure
think
it's
it
approved
should
by
be
us.
a rule, though, that you don't clear cut a hillside.
And that potentially could go in the stormwater bylaw, right? Like, if there's certain slopes, you can't
Right.
remove this percent or
Right.
something like
Exactly,
that.
yep. Yeah, so, that's definitely something that we should keep in mind when we're working on the stormwater bylaw. Because that certainly can affect that.
Wow, don't we know?
Yeah.
So, is there a trigger, or could there be, when a property's sold, for example, to try to prevent, I mean, does that make any sense?
Well, when
or
they
how
go
do
to
you feel
apply
about
for new plans, they've gotta go through the whole process.
But let's just
If
say,
they-
like 60, like, well, you know the story much better than I,
Yeah.
but there, he sold, you know, the builder sold it to the
Right,
current owner, and they do their thing, but if they don't, they say, well, we didn't know about that, or whatever, to your point, I guess, is there a way, when there's a property transfer, that they're alerted, or is that too bureaucratic? I
No,
don't
so
know.
we also, I think there's a condition in here that requires that if the property is sold at any point, the seller needs to notify the new owner that there isn't a set of order conditions on the property. And just,
right, and,
Yeah.
Good.
and, generally, a title search is now done, so when an order of conditions gets issued, that gets recorded on the deed. And so someone purchasing the property theoretically does a title search and finds that order of conditions is recorded. It is why banks didn't used to always require a certificate of compliance. And every once in a while, we'll get somebody who's selling their house who put in a septic system 20 years ago that never closed out the order of conditions on the deed. So the trigger often is, by the lawyers, by the bank, really.
Right.
Assuming that someone has a bank involved in the purchase. That is not always the case.
Right.
Yeah,
We didn't use a bank, we didn't finance, so I don't know what's on.
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
How can we
we
look
should
that
probably
up?
go check up
Right.
on the
Yeah,
registry
you
of
can
deeds, see if
look
there's
on
any
the
open
registry of
orders.
deeds.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, it's, yeah, so, but maybe that is something we think about, is that not only does the seller have to be notified,
Notify us.
that we get notified
About the sale.
about the sale with the contact information of the new owners.
I think we also ought to work out something where the building inspector, or,
Yeah, we need to,
Commissioner.
work on the OpenGov.
yeah, like,
Permitting
they,
system
if
too.
they, somebody pulls a permit over there that's anywhere near wetlands, like, they should,
We do get notified,
okay.
yep,
Is
I have to,
Just not getting those.
Yeah, we need a final step, like a final approval step, so like.
right, so,
That's
it's
probably
right,
more-
so
that's
the
more what I'm
issuing
getting at.
of the
Yes, yeah.
permit, not the issuing of the, like, final approval or an occupancy permit.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about,
That part,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
still needs, that's a,
Yeah.
that's a a little loophole we need to
We
tighten
need
up.
to
Close them.
cross
Yep.
that T and dot that I.
Yep.
Or-
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. 2025 meeting dates. Yay. All right. So I need to. So this is. Oh, so this isn't actually for reserving the room, is it? This is your.
This is when I want applicants to submit their stuff by.
Right, right. So it's basically, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's
2
like
weeks
a
ahead
little
of
bit-
time?
Yeah. 2 weeks and a couple days.
Right. Okay.
Essentially, Yeah, on a Friday.
Would you like us to vote on this?
No, it's more just I want to run it by you guys and.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great
I'm
idea to
gonna
have a
post it on the site.
deadline. Yep,
What is
I
the,
think zoning board has this type of setup.
yeah, yep.
what is the asterisk next to
That was more. I think that was more for me. Like, do we
Like-
think we'll have that meeting?
Right.
On the
Right, so that's actually kind of one of the things I was looking at is
Yeah.
like, that one we probably won't have. The November 19th, depending on when Thanksgiving falls. Couple of the bigger holidays. But, okay. I think this is a great idea, and certainly if it helps you, you know, when it was just me, I didn't often have my deadline was the publishing in the newspaper.
Yeah, essentially that's what it
right?
comes down to. Yep.
Exactly.
And now I'm thinking like it should give DEP enough time to issue a file number too. by the
Right,
time they come
and
to
we
us.
have more filings now than we used to.
Yeah.
You know, it used to not be that big a deal, so.
Yep.
And absolutely, I fully support if you implementing having a deadline.
I also like the idea too, because abutter notifications, I feel people are very like simple with their abutter notifications. So I also want them to like notify me so I can be like, okay, this is the date and time. Tell the abutters that's the date and time to
Yes.
come in.
Yes.
They're usually like, reach out to the Conservation Commission. 'cause
Yeah,
they're
if you want
Yeah,
to know
just drop
what,
in.
if you want to know what this is about.
Yeah.
Right, and where we don't have an office, people can't call us.
No.
Right, so yes, I think that is, awesome.
So November 27th is Thanksgiving, so that would be 8 days.
Okay, so
prior,
we
so-
should be good for that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You're cooking that day?
Got a lot of prep to do.
Yep. AJ's got some trips planned, but we'll somehow struggle on without him.
Probably better off.
Do we want to try to do hybrid meetings to incorporate Holly into meetings?
I don't.
Yeah.
I wish they were easier.
Right.
So
'Cause
it's
it is a
not.
process, yeah.
Yes. So it's not that I don't want to.
Yeah.
Um,
And AJ, so he can join us when he's on vacation.
Sure. When you're in Costa Rica,
Yep.
you can just zoom right in. Yeah.
It's breaking up. I can't hear you.
Yep.
Sorry.
The surf is too loud in the background.
Alrighty, moving right along.
Sorry, I can't hear you over all these Mai Tais.
Yeah, right.
Might be diving, scuba diving. I can't hear you at 60 feet. All right, let's move on. Let's
Right.
get this done.
Lancaster
I would be
Road.
totally here for a Zoom meeting with you in a
Right.
dive suit, miming at us about
Lancaster Road is just on here, so
Yeah.
we,
I did issue an emergency certificate.
Oh, right.
They had a white pine come down, kind of like was hung up kind of right on the edge of their driveway over the wetland, so I issued an emergency certificate for them to remove it, and they did take it down, but they
just
left
left
it
it.
in place. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just got it out of the trees and down. They left the stump and everything in place, so.
Awesome.
But they were gonna poke the builder about an as-built plan as well.
Perfect. Oh, there's actually something that's not on here. Okay. Powder House
Under.
Conservation Restriction.
Yeah. So did you guys see the drafts? Did you guys?
No, you sent it out? The draft?
I'm sure I sent it out.
You may have.
So
I'm
was
not
the
getting
Google
email.
Drive, was that link working for you guys? Were you accessing
I could open
project stuff through Google Drive?
When did you
I
send
don't
this?
I think I sent it out Sunday.
Really?
January 12th,
From you or from the
Conservation Commission.
What?
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. I didn't get a link, but I got the documents. It might have just inserted it from Drive.
It's my birthday, I took the day off.
There's a
valid.
drive link in the email.
Yeah, so what Worcester does is they have a Google Drive that everyone has access to. You can go in and see like all the information for the meeting. So I was attempting to do that, but I wasn't sure if people were having any access issues to it.
Assuming you sent a link to like the Drive or to the folder,
Mhm.
I shouldn't have a problem because I'm like my work account and my personal account are both in Google. So
Yeah, it did ask me about a couple people have Yahoo, and they were just like, "Are you sure?" You want it?
Oh,
now my phone's like, can I help you? with
is it
something?
the one
No, shut up.
that's titled NOI
No.
Berlin?
There's
Powderhouse Hill Conservation Restriction Draft.
Yeah.
It was sent
No,
to you.
The
12:33.
email is that subject?
Yes.
Yeah, on January 12th.
On the 12th.
I do not have it. I'll look when I get home, but,
Yep. So there is a cleaned up draft and one that has all like the edits in it. So
okay.
So the clean is it's
Just
the same
like-
as the markup, but
Yep,
clean? Okay.
yep.
Check your spam folder. It's
Yeah.
got attachments on it, so there's a good chance it went to spam.
Right.
Especially because it was
Okay.
mailed to a group of people. I just forwarded it to you, just a double whammy,
you.
and maybe that'll work.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you.
Yep.
So should we look over that as well? I mean, I don't have any say in it,
Well, I would like to review it first. Yeah.
That's
So,
fair.
yeah, so we'll put it on for our next meeting also. Has anybody else looked at it? Right. So,
And
so.
to be fair, I sent it out Sunday, so I didn't
Right.
really give you much time to
Yeah.
look at it.
Okay, so homework is to look at the edits that Maddie has made,
Mhm.
and we will discuss that as well at our next meeting.
Okay, but I didn't quite get that.
It's the Powderhouse Hill Conservation
okay.
Commission
Yeah.
draft.
Yep. Yeah, because I would like to get that
Yep. Go
off
in.
to, yeah,
Done.
yeah,
Done.
done. Or at least started to be done.
It started to be done. We looked it over once. We made some,
Yeah.
suggestions, and Maddie
Well,
made
we have
edits.
to send it
Submit it.
to,
I know.
right, well, we have to send it to
VT and see
SVT,
if they're
right,
willing
Then
to
see if
hold it.
they'll actually sign it.
right, and then we have
Oh,
to
well.
submit it to the state, and,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're, okay,
Turns out bureaucracy.
Yep.
It's the name
gotta
of the
love
game.
it. 40 Caves violation letter.
Yep, so that was part of the Google Drive. I don't know if I attached it as an attachment to the emails, but I did reach out to the residents in Clinton who have been spray painting trees and decorating for Halloween the past couple of years, just notifying that, hey, you gotta clean up your trash. We give you to the end of June.
Did you send it as 40 Caves?
I think it might be 44, the address, which is Candace.
44 Candace.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing
Yeah, so that
I
might be in
didn't
the
get
Google
that
Drive.
one.
And you sent it certified.
Sent it certified, yep.
Have you gotten the return receipt yet?
No.
Okay, but you did ask for a return receipt
Yes.
on that one?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. All right, well,
So hopefully we'll get a response.
right,
I did tell them to reach out to us.
What was the deadline for the response? Did you give them
I didn't give them a deadline for the response. I gave them a deadline to remove the trash and stuff by the end of June.
Was
was
it
that
certified or
based on?
Yeah, certified mail, yep.
signature?
Probably
Okay.
weather and
So do we know if they
Right.
got it?
give 'em some
So we
time.
haven't got the return
Okay,
receipt yet.
okay.
Yep.
Good.
Yep, I tried to mail it out last week during Jimmy Carter's funeral service. So I had to go on the weekend to do it.
Oh, that's why you dashed over here after
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sidewalk, yeah. 2 days
Um,
early for the response.
all right, well, thank you for getting that out,
No problem.
and hopefully we'll have some success with it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Trail maintenance.
Trail.
Not much to report.
Yeah.
I've got, sorry, I was looking through my spam to try to find that. I still have that, reroute marked out at, that we did the walk of.
Yep.
But I haven't had a chance to get out and do anything about it. But, weather permitting, I might do something about it this weekend. So I had a whole thing set up for Sunday, and like more people volunteering out of the woodwork than I would have expected to. I'd like mentioned to somebody like, "Oh, I'll come give you a hand." I'm like, I don't have too many people. It's a good problem to have. Not complaining. But,
Right.
But with the snow on Saturday, it was just like, oh yeah, trail work on a wet-ish, very cold, slightly snowy.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yep.
Wuss.
Look, I've done siding during a
Not you.
snowstorm in February, so
Yeah.
I've paid my dues.
All right, that's, I mean, it's to be
fair-
expected this
fair
time of
enough.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I wanna get that complete. I did go through and do a bunch of, took out a bunch of deadfall though, and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
A few weeks ago. And I gotta do another round of that, cause that last round of storms knocked down a lot of trees that just haven't been out there since. And then, after that, I wanna do some rerouting on the south side of Brewer Brook, and then I wanna start working on Mount Pisgah area within reason, cause that place is complicated, but, so yeah, I wanna actually, we should exchange emails, cause I
Yeah,
wanna.
I was gonna say I'm happy to help with any
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, I got that impression, so I wanna, get you tied, like, looped into everything, so you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, totally, and we can go do work on Pisgah, and if you wanna, like, walk stuff and do some planning over there, so you are free to do work on your own if you want, I'm happy to do that with you. I just wanna make sure that we're kind of on the same page about how things are going, especially with signage and stuff like that,
Yeah.
so we're making sure we're doing it.
Do you know
Right.
if the trail maps that are on the billboards at the front of the trails are accurate?
I believe they are.
As far as I know,
Yep.
yes. The bigger danger in that area really is road trails that aren't marked, and then confusing them with trails that are marked, and then marking them as non-road trails.
Yeah.
The other thing that I have concerns about in that area in general is there's a few trails that we probably ought to close and reroute, because they are so washed out. Like, they're legacy deadfall trails that are like, there was one that I was on that I think is on the Berlin side that was very short, but it's basically a trench, a wide trench.
Ooh.
And there's a reroute like that's not much better like next to it, and I'm like, why is this still on the map? Like, why has this not been closed? And yeah. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Cool.
But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get
Awesome.
stuff going.
All right, Fall Hill Road Conservation Area. Have you heard anything from Gary? Great.
I was hoping Walter would have an update.
Yeah. All right, well, hopefully he'll have an update. Okay, before we get to community outreach, I have 2 things. First, the annual report is due at the end of the month. Would you mind doing your magic with minutes?
We'll try to, right.
Okay.
Okay.
That would
The
be,
end of the month.
I know, right? And not too much time.
No.
Yeah, so just whatever you can, Louise is great about going through the minutes, and we did this many NOIs, we did this, we did that, and just kind of pulls it all out and puts it in one place, and then I just,
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Nice
'Kay.
summary.
Okay.
all right. Yeah, I'll check back in with you in about a week
Okay.
and see just because we are kind of tight on time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the email from Laura Matai that she would like to come in
Oh, okay.
to a meeting.
Yep.
So I would like to, is our next meeting, other than the things that we've like kicked down the road from tonight, do we have anything else for our next meeting?
So we do have an amended order of conditions for 203 Crosby Road. They just submitted that today, but
Right,
um,
right, and it's just the driveway.
it's just the driveway.
Yeah.
We're expanding. and
Yep.
Paving.
So that's not all that involved.
No.
So if you could schedule that for a little bit later,
Mhm.
and we'll schedule Laura for like 7:15.
Okay.
Well,
Yep.
let's first see if she can
Okay.
attend at 7:15.
Who is this?
She is the director of I'm trying to remember what her title is exactly, but she is the person at SVT that we work with on CRs.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, whatever her title is.
Yep.
Um,
Director of Land Acquisition or something like
something
that.
like that, yeah. Yep.
Can I ask a quick question before I forget? And it
course.
doesn't have to be during the meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
But did you get a chance to look at the CR for the land, the land down?
I did.
Pleasant?
Yes. Unfortunately, it does not allow any buildings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's
So-
considered a structure? Are
Well-
pavilions considered structures?
Yes.
Okay.
In all
Yes,
contexts.
yes,
Okay.
sadly
Okay.
they are.
Yeah.
If we put it on wheels.
Right.
There we go.
Put something there for. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Good to know, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
There are other options.
yeah. Certainly the school, I'm not really sure where rec stands with their plan about all down there. But my offer still stands for up at
Yeah.
Mount Pisgah.
Yeah.
But so talk to your mom
Yeah.
and see if she thinks she does want to go that route, we should get that language in the CR
Okay.
to allow that sooner than not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, that might bump up a funding request on our end.
We need to talk.
Fair enough.
Okay. Okay, so now we can get on to community outreach. So, the Tohoto internship program, we're talking earlier, after the last meeting that Lexi and Louise had with the
School
superintendent and school council, right?
And one very, very good student. I was trying to think of a better adjective. Impressive, very impressive student. Yeah.
Awesome. We did get 2 emails just before the holidays. 2 different teachers are interested in doing Bluebird boxes. So, because AJ is really the coordinator of the building of the Bluebird boxes, I have asked him to reach out to the teachers and keep Lexi in the loop and kind of coordinate that. But it was great. We got 2 responses the next day. So that would be great if we could get that working. And I assume you guys haven't met since the last time, met with the school since the
No,
last
the
time.
22nd is the next school council meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Louise and I were talking about whether or not it makes sense for me to go to that meeting. Just because, I mean, I don't know, if we would probably be meeting with individual teachers. I mean, not everybody, but, I don't know if there's anything else that I need to present to, or that we need to present to the council as a whole.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll let you guys decide that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You guys know more in detail about what conversations have happened and everything. You might want to just reach out to whoever you've been talking to and say, hey, do you think I should come?
Right, yeah.
Um,
Well, I think we should probably meet with Sally because she's the head of the internship program,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I
just
think
reach out and,
Yeah.
It
Yep.
probably also might be more so in the fall, like with the start of new curriculums and
Sure.
stuff. So.
yep, yep.
I guess they made contact with the fire chief here in town, and I know that they had somebody working with 19 Carter. You know, somebody went and interviewed Evie Durick about 19 Carter. Other than that, there hasn't been any other connections.
Okay.
Right. But those wouldn't be conservation things, that was something.
Right. Cool.
At Tohoto, the faculty's been plagued with illness. They've been lots of subs. Hasn't affected the student population as much, ironically.
Huh.
But it's been a tough week for them. They had so many openings.
Right. Been subbing a lot?
I can only go so many. Only one class at a time, right?
Right.
So,
Yep.
no, it has been busy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, my heart's out for them. But I mean, I just know anecdotally. I mean, the assistant principals are very excited about it, and even though I haven't been involved in any of the meetings directly, so
Right.
I think they're good people. I really do.
Yeah.
Very professional.
Yep.
Reflective of what you've seen and experienced so far.
Cool. Awesome. All right, and then, do we have anything about the Bluebird Trail?
Walter hasn't provided us a map yet, so no.
All right.
And Walter's not here, so.
Right.
But it's been pretty full.
Can
Unless AJ's got something.
one of you do me a favor and send him an email
Sure.
asking for the map
Sure.
so that he has it in writing so that he can maybe remember?
Also, if he has like a list of locations as opposed to a full completed map, I'm happy to help create a
I think
map from
he does
location.
have a list. He showed it to me.
Okay.
I don't know if it's everything, but
Yeah.
Okay. That
he
would
showed it to me and I added a few by hand,
Okay.
because
Yeah, if
I
we could,
put up some.
even if we can just get a list of locations, that would allow us to actually
Create a map.
create a map,
Yeah.
Right.
which,
Right.
but we need
Yep.
we need something to work with.
Yes.
All right. Do you want me to send that, AJ, or do you want to handle that? I can send it.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Do you want me to CC you?
Sure, I've got
All
3 or
right.
4 things already, and I've got one more to bring up.
No problem.
All right. So that's all I have. Hold on. You're, all right, now you're up.
Go, AJ.
What do you got?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Earth Day, and I don't think it's too early to talk about it.
I disagree.
I was just gonna mention that.
Okay.
All right. Great minds think alike, don't they?
Right.
We were waitlisted on 2 trips, one for about 3 months, one for about 6 months, and both of them had an opening. So we're going to Costa Rica next month, and that was a 6-month wait, and the other one is South Carolina. And the South Carolina trip, we leave on the 24th of April, which, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is, the 19th of April, although it's 3 days before the actual Earth Day, I will be here the next weekend, I won't. And it's also Easter weekend, so, oh gosh.
Oh.
24th is Easter
No,
or the 19th?
no, the 20th is Easter, I think.
Oh,
Right. Let me change my calendar 1 week. Yeah.
So are you proposing we
The 19th
observe
or-
Earth Day on the 19th?
I know.
Holiday weekend's always hard. And what day is actual Earth Day?
22nd.
Yeah,
22nd.
You're right, yeah, it's 22nd.
And then, when are you going to South Carolina?
24th,
24th. AJ.
I know.
Yeah.
Too many balls in the air.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about doing it on the 19th. Like I said, a holiday weekend is always a guaranteed reduction in participation
I know.
in anything.
And
Um,
I don't know what to say.
Right. So is the weekend, is the week before Easter, April vacation for school? I think it's usually the third week of April, right?
Usually the third, right.
Right. So that probably is.
We probably should check to make sure, but
So it would be the week of the 21st.
Yeah.
Is,
School vacation. Usually it's Patriots Day,
Did you get
which is
this
the
in-
21st.
oh. Okay. All right, well, let's think about the 19th, because if that next week is April vacation, that next weekend is also, a hard weekend
I
to
mean,
get
we
participation.
have done Earth Day in May one year, but
Right. Yeah, I don't know that we need to decide now, but it is good to start kind of thinking about possible things. All right. What else you got?
That's the only part I've understood tonight. The only thing is, I looked at the tree list.
Okay.
I looked at the tree list, and there's something called a TODEM.
I saw that totem.
What is that?
It's a
I
tree.
don't know.
I
Is
saw
it
that
tree
on
without
Fred's
limbs
list.
or anything?
Hardwood or softwood? I mean,
Oh, it could be a tree that has already lost all its limbs.
Yeah,
so they don't know what kind it is.
yeah, maybe.
I bet that's it, because
Mm.
it's oak, it's maple, it's whatever.
Right.
I didn't
Did you Google
I
it?
didn't see any bubinga on there.
Rats.
Okay, I bet that's it. Thank you. Who came up with that?
The tree list?
No.
Oh, totem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maddie, of course.
Just a theory.
Does anybody
I bet
else
you're
have
right.
anything else? All right. Someone should make a motion.
I move to close the meeting at 8:24.
Second.
Non-debatable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
I think we made pretty good
Okay.
time.
We did.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Maddie and I had to sit in that meeting, and it went an hour longer than it was supposed to.
Is that where is?
I haven't had dinner.
I didn't know
I'm
if that was a
starving.
public
Do you
I'm
have
like,
this meeting every?
thing.
no, it was
Okay.
just this one
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meeting
But
happening
I,
at
my
a-
my plan,
You're
like I
definitely
would have
able